This is the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose, where I strategize with business owners on how to grow and scale their businesses to hit their income goals. This is episode 300 of the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose. That's probably the first time you've ever heard my intro sound a little bit slower because I needed to let it sink in that I was saying 300th episode. A lot of people will celebrate how long they have had their blog or their podcast. And for me, it's not about the length of time. It's about the number of consecutive times that this podcast has come out. So this is the 300th episode, and the very first episode was published January 1st of 2017, and it is currently August 15th of 2022. So you can see it is 5.5 years of having a podcast, of making sure that an episode comes out every single week. And for the months of April and May, we were publishing 2 episodes a month. Over the summer, we took a step back because I very much realized that in order to maintain my own mental health as well as my family's, which you can see we've talked about that quite a bit back in the month of July, was that it was important for me to spend time with my family without stressing about trying to get out so many episodes. So we took a step back, and I promise 2 episodes a week will be coming back as we move into Q4 and into the new year. But for now, you saw that we did not miss a single episode. And the very first episode I looked back was called The Power of Purpose. And I talked a little bit about my journey and my story, about how I started off as a lifestyle blogger over on the Melrose Family, creating quick and easy recipes and projects for busy parents while I was a full-time inner city school district teacher with a newborn. And how over that time I saw myself grow, not only as a mother and a business owner, but saw my family grow as well. We went from having a 6-month newborn to having one 3.5 years later. That was a total surprise and has made this family very much complete and has made me a stronger woman because that child is a little bit more strong-willed. For those that know my girls, you know that Avery is definitely my strong-willed daughter, and she is put on this earth to make sure that I am the best mom possible to 2 girls that are totally different and one that is very different than me. And when I'm talking about this 300th episode, I think that it's important for me to bring up my girls because my power of purpose for starting the podcast was really to make sure that the little girls in all of your lives got to see you all running successful businesses. And that has stayed steady and strong and is my reason for why we went to 2 podcasts in the spring, because I knew this year going into 2022, after we had gone through a pandemic and the crazy housing crisis that is still continuing right now in August with housing being so expensive. And of course, typically people are talking about inflation and how things are much more expensive. But we have endured all of this, and our families are the ones that we are doing this for. And that is the reason that I think it's important that when I am looking back over all of these episodes, that I bring up the fact that I am so thankful and so grateful, of course, for all of my listeners, but also for my family that has watched me over time develop and have my own doubts with what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and staying with me and explaining to new friends and their parents what it is that their mother does, which can be very confusing for a 12-and-a-half-year-old that has to say, oh, my mom does social media. Yeah, no, I'm not allowed to be on social media. Very confusing. So being able for them to truly appreciate and for me to appreciate them for supporting me. And of course, my partner, my husband that I talk about is always so important for all of us as women business owners to have that support system in our life, whether it is your partner, your husband, your wife, or it may be a best friend if you are a single parent. Whoever that person looks like, so that you have someone to continue to talk to and to really continue to push you forward and support you when you are doubting yourself, or to celebrate the wins like a 300th episode, or for you to hit a certain amount of page views or a certain amount of income, or to be able to get to retire, where so many of my clients I've watched be able to do that over the years. And I am just so appreciative of the support that I have had. And of course, I also talked about you all. You all have shared so much with me, whether you have invested in Pitch Perfect Pro, you've worked with me coaching one-on-one, or you've gone into one of my masterminds. Many of you have not only shared your businesses with me, but you've shared your lives and the struggles that you have, which can be very difficult to share sometimes about. So I appreciate all of you that have been with me, whether you have been listening since the very beginning in 2017, or you found me a month or two ago and just started listening. Go back and listen to that Power of Purpose episode, because I want you to find your power of purpose. And as you continue to grow and have questions, I always throughout my episodes tell people, reach out to me, send me a DM on Instagram at Jenny_Melrose. Ask me the questions that you have, because it helps me continue to create the content that I know you all need. A lot of times when I create content, it's because it's routinely coming up inside my membership site or in one of my high-level masterminds where people are really struggling with particular aspects of their business. How do I create that tripwire? What does it look like to build upon that and create an evergreen funnel? These words that we continually hear in our industry, but we don't know what the specifics of how to implement them. And if you are in the next 6 months, in the next week, looking for something that's going to continue to move your business forward, reach out to me, talk to me about what are some of the options that I may have for you. If you are looking for that accountability, jump into one of my mastermind programs. We kick off in fall normally with 2 to 3 groups running at a time, where we have 5 to 7 women in each group and are able to meet consistently and grow together and really dive into each other's businesses to better understand how everything can be tied together to make sure that your revenue is increasing. Because one of the things that I routinely hear from mastermind and coaching clients is, I'm trying to do all the things. I hear I need to be doing this and I need to be doing that. I need to be doing this. And I don't know what I should put my effort into first. That's what a mastermind and coaching is for me to be able to help guide you on determining what is the biggest factor in your business to continue to move you forward. That is the purpose of the podcast. That is the reason that you often hear very specific topics. It's because they are routinely coming up inside my mastermind programs. And when I know they're coming up in my mastermind programs, I know they're coming up in your businesses as well. So if you haven't jumped into one yet, or you're looking for where do I begin? How can I really take this to the next level? Send me a DM, ask those questions. I am not one to push you towards something that isn't going to work for you, because that only reflects on me. I want you to succeed. I want you to be able to put steps into practice and see the growth in your business. Now, when we are looking over the 300 episodes that I have done, I also want to make sure that I shout out to all of the amazing guests that I have had on the show. There have been so many that it is difficult to even think about the amount of names that I would have to be throwing out to talk about. I just want my guests to know that I appreciate you taking the time to do the interviews, to help promote, to really have those deep conversations with me about your business and helping my people move forward. So, as we continue to move forward past the 300th episode, I would love for you to let me know what it is that you need most. So send me a DM on Instagram at Jenny_Melrose and ask me, tell me, get into it with me about what it is that you continue to get stuck on. You have to talk to me in order for me to be able to create that content for you. And the only way you can do that is if you send me that DM or even email me, jenny@jennymelrose.com. I want to know how I can continue to move you forward. All right, you guys, until next time, I'll see you all then.